dens and birds have nests, but the Son of Man has no place to lay his head. Another disciple said to him, Lord, first let me go and bury my father. But Jesus told him, follow me, and let the dead bury their dead. May the Lord bless the reading of his holy word. Now, it's important to note that Jesus, before this interaction with these two people, had just given his Sermon on the Mount. Jesus had just gone into Capernaum and healed the servant of a centurion, and he continued to heal many who were brought to him in Capernaum. So Jesus was gathering quite a large crowd. People were moved by the words that he had spoke to them on the mountainside, and they were being moved because he was healing the sick from their many ailments. And so many were wanting to follow him, and Jesus looked around and he saw the crowd. And then Jesus gave the order, well, I need to go to the other side of the lake. And so as he's getting ready to step into the boat to go to the other side of the lake, two people from the crowd come to him. A teacher of the law comes to him and says, I will follow you, Jesus. Wherever you go, I will go. And then a disciple says to Jesus, wait for me. First, I need to go bury my father. It is in Jesus' response that we see what Jesus is going to say is the cost of discipleship. It is one in which we may not be willing to pay. And we must all ask ourselves very carefully, I might add, and truly with great effort think about what it means to follow Jesus. Are you willing to leave this world behind? Seems like a strange question to ask based off of our passage of Scripture that I read this morning. But when you look at what the teacher of the law and the disciple come to Jesus with, you understand that Jesus is asking them to give up the world. For the first one who comes to him, the teacher of the law, the Pharisee, the scribe, comes and says, I will follow you wherever you go. And it is Jesus' response to this declaration of, I will follow you, that distinguishes the manner in which the teacher of the law was willing to do. You see, the word that the teacher of the law used to indicate in which he was going to follow Jesus is also the same word that Jesus tells the disciples a few verses later. But the way that the teacher of the law uses the word causes a different thing to consider altogether. You see, the word in Greek is akolutheo, which means I am going to accompany, I attend, or follow. You see, the teacher of the law, he wanted to follow Jesus across the lake as he wanted to accompany him on the boat. He wanted to ride along to attend to Jesus, to serve Jesus' needs. But by doing so, the teacher of the law showed a willingness to follow Jesus, but he only wanted to follow Jesus as long as it was possible for the teacher of the law to gain something out of following such a great teacher. He saw this as a chance for advancement rather than truly following Jesus. He thought he was going to gain something from this relationship which was going to help him in this world. Now, we all do this at some point. We all try to jockey, or we all try to position ourselves to be close to somebody who is influential. And we do this in hope that we would reap some type of benefit from being close to them. Just because we are part of their group, we might get something of use out of it. And in fact, a lot of people's careers, wealth, and influence have been built this way. Because this world is all about who you know, how well you know them, and what they can do for you if you mention their name. And so this teacher of the law was trying to do just that. He was trying to say, Jesus, I will follow you wherever you go so that I can be counted among your followers. And because I'll be counted among your followers, I'll gain some type of special notoriety. I will be known as the teacher of the law who follows Jesus. And that might get me something. But Jesus' response to this statement, to follow him, shatters everything in which the teacher of the law thought he might gain from being counted among Christ's followers. Because we understand that there is this idea that they recognized how great Jesus was. And we learn in John 6:15 that the crowd wanted to make him king by force. And so who would not want to be among the followers when Jesus was made king? Because you're going to get something out of it. But when Jesus responds to the teacher of the law, he strips away the notion that the teacher of the law is going to gain some worldly benefit from being associated with Jesus. Jesus tells him in verse 20, foxes have dens and birds have nests, but the Son of Man has no place to lay his head. Well, what does that mean? Well, Jesus is saying, if you want to follow the Son of God, if you want to follow the Son of Man, you are going to have to be homeless. Homeless in the way in which you are going to have to give up the security of this world for a chance to share in the poverty of Christ. Now, I know that word scares a lot of people, poverty. But by poverty, I mean to lack what is usually or socially acceptable. That poverty is not just about money. But Jesus is